Hello dear learners, I hope you are doing well. السلام عليكم. اليوم سنلتقي ونشاهد فيديو آخر وتبادل ثقافي آخر مع دولة أخرى، المغرب، أمريكا، من ولاية مونتانا مع الأستاذة ليندا روست. ستقدم لنا الشرح عن وضعية الجائحة في بلدها، وكذلك ستعطي لكم
Hello,
نصائح
students.
تحفيزية.
My name is
مرحبا
Linda
بك.
Rost. I'm the 2020 Montana Teacher of the Year from the United States. And your teacher, Miss Leila Taika, asked if I would record a video for you to teach you about COVID and remote learning, and also some things about the United States and Montana. So today in our lesson, we're going to learn about questions that we use in science. I'm a science teacher. I teach high school science, and these are questions that we use a lot in science. We use questions like who, what, where, when, why, and how. Those are the different 6 questions that we use in English. But first I'll tell you a little bit about where I'm from and where I live. So I live in the United States, and I live in the state Montana, which is shown in red. And the place that I live, the town, is in Baker. So you can see the little arrow pointing to Baker, and that's where I live in the US. And these are our flags. So on the left, we have the Montana state flag, and that's for the state that I live in the United States. And then the flag on the right is the United States flag. So here's some information about this pandemic that we're all experiencing all over the world. A pandemic or an epidemic is a disease that spreads really quickly. And you can see this picture, this graph of Ebola. This is the Ebola epidemic that happened in 2014 and 15, and it spread very quickly in many different countries. But if we have a disease that spreads all over the world, that is a pandemic. And right now, the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting over 200 countries. So that is spreading all over the world, and you can see here a map. And this one's from late April, so it's very different now, and it might be different in Morocco, what you all are experiencing. These are some daily COVID deaths all over the world. It definitely increased at first, and it might be going down now, hopefully, but now other countries are being affected, and we're seeing more deaths in those countries, so we might see this go up as the disease progresses. So these are some questions that you might ask, or a scientist might ask, about this disease, this pandemic. They might ask, what is COVID-19? When are things going to be better? Who is it affecting? Where has it spread? Why did everything close? And how should I respond? So you can see that I used all 6 of those question words that we use in English and in science. And you probably have similar question words in your language. So first I'll answer, what is COVID? COVID is a disease that's spread from a novel coronavirus. There are other types of coronaviruses, and this is just a new type. Novel means new. The name of the virus is SARS-CoV-2, and it is related to SARS and MERS. We know that it's spread from droplets. That means when we cough or sneeze, it's spread from those droplets to other people. And it could be spread from people who have no symptoms, so they don't even know that they have it, and they could be spreading it. So here's another question, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are fever, mild to severe respiratory illness, coughing, difficulty breathing, and most people have fever who have this disease. So we see a lot of people with fever and coughing mostly. Another question you might ask is, why did everything close? So the reason that we closed schools, your school is probably closed, and you might still be doing remote learning, and you might be doing remote learning later. We aren't really sure yet. And that's because we wanted to slow the spread of the disease so that our healthcare workers, our doctors and nurses, could take care of people who are sick more easily. If everybody got sick at once, then more people would die. So we really wanted to flatten the curve, and that's what this picture is showing. Here's an example from the Spanish flu. This was back in 1918, and in St. Louis, the red line, they shut everything down, just like most countries did, and then in Philadelphia, they did not. And so you can see that it spiked in Philadelphia. Twice as many people died. And another thing that we need to remember is that we need to stay 6 feet apart, because that's at least 6 feet apart, because the droplets spread that far. So we need to make sure that we're social distancing, and that can also slow things down. So that's called social distancing. So our last question here, how should I respond? How should we respond? What should we do? The first thing we should do is keep calm and make sure that you're washing your hands often. Probably at least 6 times a day is how often you should be washing your hands. Also avoid touching your face, because that's how we can get the disease to spread and get infected, is if we touch our mouth, if we have it on our hands and we touch our mouth or our nose. Also, we need to be doing social distancing so that we're staying away from people who might have it. And if we have it and don't know, we could infect somebody else. We also need to avoid large social gatherings where lots of people are around each other and breathing on each other, because the disease could spread. So we try to stay just less than 10 people in most cases where we have a large spread. And we also need to stay home as much as possible to avoid getting infected. But make sure that you stay connected to your friends and family and to your teacher. So here's my message to you. When we're thinking about our world, let's practice asking science questions. So I want you to practice asking who, what, when, where, why, and how questions like I showed you in this lesson, and make sure that you keep learning. Remote learning or distance learning might become a new normal in some places. We might have to continue learning in this way. And so we need to make sure that we are embracing that and doing our very best to learn well in this setting. I know that it's hard and challenging for all of us, but it can also be a really great way to learn. So for now, you can focus on being present with your family, playing with them, talking with them, enjoying time with them, because this time can be hard for everyone. It can also be hard on your parents and also on your teacher. And so we need to make sure that we're being kind and patient with everybody. Make sure that we're helping each other to get through this. The whole world is experiencing this challenge, this huge challenge, and so we need to work together to help each other. And then also we need to remember to be kind. We should always be kind to each other no matter what, but in this time everybody is very stressed. It's all very scary, so we need to make sure that we're kind to each other. Thank you so much for joining me today and for letting me share with you. I hope to hear from you all through your teacher. I would just love that. I hope that you all are safe and that you're making good choices, and I hope to see you someday.